It's a Friday. We're live, a new Sprint Ride Option podcast. I am Andrew Pasquini, joined as always by Jason Aponte. Jason, it's as I said, it's Friday, but more importantly, the San Francisco 49ers in 24 hours and 15 minutes play a football game. How we feeling? How do we feel about it 24 hours away?
I mean, we have to hit the theme music first.
Oh shit, you're right. Theme music.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm Andrew Pasquini. I'm Jason Aponte. All right.
There we go. We hit it. Jason, 49ers play football tomorrow. It feels like it's been forever. The first year the Niners missed the playoffs in 3 years. So we had an extra long wait, an extra month and a half to wait. But we're finally here, Jason. The Niners are back.
Yeah, and what's funny is nobody's gonna play in this game that's a starter. I have thoughts because Kyle Shanahan said you can't bench all 22 people, and that's gonna enrage everyone. But let's just do the numbers game. When you consider injuries, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great, and we get to evaluate the back end of this roster. We get to evaluate rookies, and I think that's more important in this game because you're not gonna see many starters. I have names that I believe that are going to be starters that are probably going to play in this game. And by the way, I wrote on it on the brand new revamped NinersNation.com. So much cleaner, no more pop-ups. We listened. So one thing that you could say is you could hate the name because, it's an empire or whatever the shit.
Faithful.
But we listened because everyone was so upset by trying to get into it and the the pop-ups and everything. That's all changed. NinersNation.com is cleaner. But I wrote about 5 players that you should watch for, and some of them are starters. And unfortunately, you can't bench every single starter. It's just not how things work.
I told KP that I would make a list like that, right? And I was brainstorming it last night, kind of got some thoughts sent out. Or not last night, a couple nights ago. And I've had to completely rework the list because 40% of my list got hurt. I put Michael Williams and Jordan James as guys I was excited to watch. So now I'm very nervous about the list I'm going to put out because it's just like I don't even know who's going to play at this point. I got Upton Stout, Pearsall, Dallas Flowers, Jordan Watkins, and Jason Pinnock. I think that's a solid list, but of course, in true Niners fashion, 2 of the guys I'm so bummed about the Jordan James situation because in my head, I made the comparison to Dominic Puni last year, right?
Pearsall's not going to play, but oh my God, is Shedeur Sanders playing? Oh my God, what a throw just now.
Did Sanders make a play? Pearsall.
Oh my God.
Did Sanders, Shedeur just do something? I like it.
Shedeur just made an absolutely amazing throw right here to, stop me if you've heard this one, a white slot receiver that they say is Julian Edelman. Man, these comps get lazier and lazier as they go on.
Who's the other one? Danny Amendola. That was another good one.
Or Cooper Kupp. If you're a white receiver, you're Cooper Kupp.
See, this is why I say things out loud, because now you say you doubt Pearsall plays. Chat's saying they doubt Pearsall plays. So there we go. This is why I say things out loud. But the Jordan James one, I compared it to Dominic Puni last year because Puni drafted 3rd round. He was supposed to be behind Spencer Burford in the depth chart. Burford goes down with the injury. Puni takes the job, and the rest is history. And I know Jordan James obviously not competing for running back number 1, but with the Isaac Guerendo injury, running back 2 is wide open right now. And now there's a non-zero chance where Niners week 1 running back 2 is Amir Abdullah, and I don't know what that means for the position. He's making the team. He's absolutely, if he's not, because he has the kick return ability as well. But Jordan James had such a unique situation for tomorrow. It's such a bummer that the injury has to happen, especially when it does, especially for a rookie. I mean, it's not going to put Jordan James' roster spot in doubt, but we're sitting here with a chance of him locking up running back 2 with some impressive preseason games, and now he's probably not going to play the preseason with a finger injury. So it's just another camp, another preseason where we get to talk about Niners injuries and what's going on. So it's kind of a bummer. It is what it is, but it's just what Niners Niners preseason football has turned into the past couple of years. I mean, you look at the moves they've had to make just to keep a roster full of players to practice. I mean, you remember when we had the mass panic of Eli Apple being on this roster? Well, that's gone now, Jason Fonte, because they're so hurt at defensive line. They had to move on from Eli Apple to decide another guy. So yeah, not to jump right into the storylines, but yeah, the Jordan James injury particularly bummed me out.
And remember when Equinemius St. Brown was our wide receiver one? That's all done. He's
Wow.
on season-ending IR.
He puts a Niner jersey on, and all of a sudden, like injury, boom.
Look, let's not bury the lead.
Yes.
Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, George Kittle, Ricky Pearsall, Brock Purdy, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, Diamondor Lenore. None of them are going to play in this game. That's fine. I've seen enough, right? The starters that are going to play in this game, D. Winters, Jason Pinnock, though, like, again, Upton Stout is going to play in this game. And I think all of that is important because although D. Winters is in his third year, he still needs confidence, reps, all of that stuff, right? It's almost essentially like he's one of these rookies that he has to play. Now, the only pushback that I would give or that I could see is this team is so banged up, is so hurt that they even want to protect him.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them, but I would like to see D. Winters play football on Saturday because he needs the confidence. Keep building on that. Pinnock, you're someone who's familiar with the system. That's cool. I want to see you out there because I need you to get live reps. Like, I think, again, that's completely fair. And then Upton Stout, you just got to keep building off of this training camp in which you've been the defensive MVP. If it's not you, it's D. Winters. Because, again, I don't want to hear that Nick Bosa is the best defensive player in camp. Good. And you
that's how it should be.
You fucking better be, right? Like, yeah, you fucking better be. I don't want to hear that. Like, I don't care about that. We're talking about people that need development. So Upton Stout, D. Winters, those are the two guys fighting for defensive MVP. Ricky Pearsall and Jordan Watkins are fighting for offensive MVP right now. Either way, there are going to be starters on the field, but I wouldn't, again, it's not going to be Trent. It's not going to be any of those other guys, but these guys need to play football and they need to have them pads pop.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like, we've talked about it a little bit, and tomorrow's kind of the first day. Obviously, we're going to get to see this team, but I'm excited because this is the first year of Niners football. I mean, at least in this podcast, Jason, where there's really no expectations going into this season, and it almost feels like we're starting with a blank book almost, right? And I mean, every season you start as a blank book. You have the first page. But there's just no expectations. And I'm at a point right now, Jason, where if you told me that this is a 7-win team, I'd probably agree. If it's an 11-win team, I'd probably agree. Like, I think there's so much variance of what this season can be. Is Shedeur just cooking? Is that what's going on?
Touchdown.
I love it. I like it. I like to hear
That's 2 touchdowns to Davis.
Okay.
Oh, baby. Hey, listen.
Baby, Shedeur.
Look, and this is getting off of, 49ers topics. Shedeur Sanders has an opportunity right now to put good film out there. And teams have taken chances on players with not good film based on what they think they can get out of them. Shedeur Sanders has an absolute opportunity right now to seize the moment. And aside from a player two, like, again, like, I don't care what you think of the player. I'm not particularly high on Shedeur Sanders. But the league takes chance after chance on Trey Lance and what's the guy's name that Dallas just added? They did it twice. They did it with Trey Lance. They did it with Joe Milton. Like,
big Joe Milton guy here.
Yeah, you're gonna continue to take shots. There's a reason that people were like, "Oh, Sam Darnold's not cooked," and Geno Smith's not cooked, and Baker Mayfield's not cooked. Like, just put good film out there. And Shedeur's, like, he's seizing the moment right now. You can't say anything more than, like, him just taking advantage of his opportunity. Anyway.
Yeah, I've seen I've seen more good plays than bad. I mean, obviously he had the fourth down play where he just ran backwards and
That
like
was blown up though.
in
That was
in
blown up.
college it's something and that is blown up. But in college you can get away with that, right? In the NFL you can't. Those are things he's gonna have to learn. But I've seen more good plays than bad plays from him. So shout out Shador Sanders. I know that whole situation. I just saw the play you reacted to earlier to wide receiver number 37, which is preseason football, right there. Wide receiver number 37, whoever maybe that be. But
That was a
rolling out to the
beaut.
pocket, just a great drop in the bucket.
That was a beaut.
We like it. We like to see it. But yeah, no, back to the Niners. And Jason, let's talk about Niners Broncos, both in preseason football play and in joint practices yesterday. And I want to read you a tweet. It might be my favorite tweet of training camp. It might end up being my favorite tweet for the rest of the season. I don't think I need to tell you who tweeted this. I think you might know who tweeted it just by reading it. And I don't want to say who tweeted it because I'm afraid you guys will think I'm dunking on him because I'm trying not to dunk on people. I genuinely love this tweet. Here's a serious question. Is that the best defense the 49ers will face all year? Denver finished number 1 EPA, number 1 versus the pass, and number 4 versus the run in 2024. Huge part of the reason the 49ers were happy with today's workout. And the fact that we haven't even seen the Niners play a preseason football game. We're just talking about practice, not a game, practice about the Niners potentially facing the best defense they faced all year. Football is so goddamn back, Jason Aponte.
Okay, can I just say that is the best defense they're going to face this season, unless they face the Baltimore Ravens this season somehow. Look, I've been very vocal. The Denver Broncos defense is 1-2 in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And it's not particularly close. And it has nothing to do. Listen, I would have probably put them at 1-2 before Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga they joined. Patrick Surtain, Zach Allen, this defense was already a top unit. You add Barron, this they're cooking. Denver has got something going, and they've got motion with a quarterback that cost them nothing. So yes, that is going to be the best defense they face, unless they face the Baltimore Ravens in the Super Bowl, who added Mike Green and my God, and Malachi Starks. And Mike Green, by the way, God, this weekend has been really rough for evaluations and about like people, because Mike Green slid down the board because of the person that he was. My God, he looked incredible. Yeah. And he's really good at football. So yeah, it is the best defense they're gonna face. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
It's just very I love the idea of using the best defense they'll face all year on the first joint practice of the year.
Well, your point is more to spinning it to whatever a positive is. Yeah. I found a way to do that, but I've also found a way to say that Denver's defense won the first half of practice, and I give credit to the San Francisco 49ers offense for battling back without Juwan Jennings, without Brandon Ayuk, right? Like, I want to make sure that we add those things in there. They battled back, and that's good to see. Like, that's the type of stuff that, again, it looks like whatever, Denver won the whole day, cool, depending on who you ask, but the Denver Broncos beat writers, they were pretty fair in, Denver dominated early on. It didn't look like that after that. Well, what happens? You make adjustments, you understand the speed, you understand what's going on, you trust your guys a little bit more. I think that's more important. I walked away. I didn't learn anything about this Denver Broncos defense that I didn't already know. That Denver Broncos defense is going to give every single team fits. Yep. And all their offense has to do is not kick the game away. They're going to be in every single game. But the fact that Brock Purdy wasn't his best, this offense was getting their ass kicked. That offensive line was getting their ass kicked. And then they fought back and they were able to show semblance of being positive. That is what I'm going to take away from this. And that's more important, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and that's what you want to see in these joint practices, because it is the first time you're facing off a different team. So there's going to be a little more juice to it. And I know it's it's a concern to see, oh, Purdy threw 2 interceptions, or oh, Ricky Pearsall struggled, against Pat Surtain. But it's one of those situations where, yeah, it is a very talented defense and there are going to be struggles. But again, it is practice. There are things that are going to happen that you're not going to do in games that you can get away with in practices. But yeah, Jason, you took the words right out of my mouth. Is they improved, and that's what everybody was saying. Is, yeah, the first half of practice was rough. The second half of practice, the offense started clicking and started working, and that's really what should be taken away, because I know the concerns are there, right, because of the first half. But which one would you rather hear, Jason? You start off slow, finish slow, or start off slow, finish fast, like the Niners did? So that's where I'm excited to hear, and also
Or
too.
Andrew, you start off fast and get absolutely dominated in the red zone.
Exactly. Like there's a lot of different ways to cut it, but I feel like if there's a spot where you have to say that there's a bad spot at any point of practice, I'd rather it be at the start and then finish strong. Because I mean, how many times have we seen this? And this is me overestimating a practice, Jason, which is fine. We can do it right now. But how many times have we seen the Niners start a game hot and then just kind of cool off the rest of the way and allow the other team to kind of, I mean, it almost
The
felt like
Rams,
a lot of the games last season, right?
the
Where the
Rams,
Niners would start out hot, the teams would chip away, chip away, chip away, and then the Niners would lose. So again, one practice, we're not going to overreact to it, but to hear that the offense kind of figured it out against the best defense they're going to face all year, Jason Aponte,
for sure.
that's a good step. And that's something that excites me a little bit for this offense. Because again, I have high expectations for this offense, Jason. And I mean, maybe I shouldn't be making fun of Lombardi's tweet and be making fun of the real thing. Did you know that it would be very bad this season, Jason, if George Kittle leads the team in receptions and receiving yards? That's that's what I'm saying. Like, this offense, I have such high expectations for this year. And if George Kittle leads the team in receiving yards and receptions, which at this point, if you look at the receiver room, I can almost guarantee you right now George Kittle is going to lead the team in receptions and receiving yards. I can almost guarantee it. I would feel very good, because that means you're getting your best player the ball, and so I'm big on it. I like it. I'm excited for the offense.
It got to be one of the worst takes in the history of
Not
takes.
good. It's not good.
Yeah, it's it's ungood. Um, no, look again. We're looking at this defense, and let's keep it a buck on the defense as well too. That was out there. Ronaldo Green is not there. Malik Mustafa is not there. You have to, add all this stuff into it. For large parts of the practice, they were getting their ass kicked too. But even when those guys are healthy, we still suspect that this defense is going to be up and down. There's going to be peaks and valleys. It's going to be better than last season. It's going to be it's going to be very much better, because it can't be worse. It still needs to be the offense. So to hear at the end of this team practice, the 49ers offense without Jawan Jennings, without Brandon Ayuk, it still found a way to, like, Jordan Watkins beating Patrick Surtain for a slant touchdown, which, by the way, happened. I don't know who wants to, look, stop fucking listening to Caesar Bass. Like, guys, like, I don't know how many times I have to tell you. I don't know how many times I have to tell you. A guy named Caesar Bass is not at practice. Why on earth are you allowing yourself to get trolled and retweeted and putting him out there and saying that Jordan Watkins beat Patrick Surtain down the field? Like, please, guys, use this. Please, just use this. But Jordan Watkins did beat Patrick Surtain, and it was corroborated by 49ers and Denver Broncos beat reporters. That happened on a slant. That's something that you very much want to hear. Jordan Watkins also won on a one-on-one down the field. It wasn't against Patrick Surtain or Barron, but it was a very impressive rep. But Ricky Pearsall won against Barron and Surtain. That's what you want to hear. That's the stuff you want to hear. Because if he's doing that against a formidable duo like them, I'm not sure I'm ready to crown them as a top 2 duo in the NFL, but they're up there. Then you've got to feel good about that, right? Like, so, like, again, the overall results, the overall, thought process of who won the day, it matters, but it isn't the end all be all.
No.
What matters is what you want to hear and what you need to see. Did this offensive line hold up against the defensive line? The answer is no. Trent Williams didn't play. You need to add that in there. But they didn't hold up. They looked piss poor, and that's fine because the Broncos' defensive line is very good. How did Ricky Pearsall look against Barron and Surtain? He lost some, he won some. Good. Then keep building and keep stacking. Like, these are the things you really need to gravitate to as opposed to what the score was at the end of practice or what are the guys that they need to work on? Like, when they say Nick Bosa's having a great day and he's beating Garrett Bowles and he's beating Mike McGlinchey, great. I don't care. Good. You should be. That's fine. I don't care about that. When they say Fred Warner's good in coverage, good. Don't care. Everybody knows that you are. It's the things that you need to see, the development you need to see from certain players, what you need to be paying attention to that should really not be setting off alarm bells. If Brock Purdy has a day where not only one, they were having a hard time just even running regular plays and they couldn't run the football and they were getting stuffed over and over and he wasn't sharp, that doesn't tell me anything. That's just a day. That's just one day. It is what it is. And again, we will cross that bridge when we get there because the only other defense that's better than the Denver Broncos is the Baltimore Ravens. And you know when you'll see the Baltimore Ravens? In the Super Bowl. And you'll have a week and a half to prepare, 2 weeks. I am not tripping. Everybody needs to look at this and contextually put this together in a way that makes sense. That's what really is what really matters.
Sounds like Jason Aponte just guaranteed a Niners Ravens Super Bowl right there. That's what.
God damn it! And Lamar's gonna raise
away from that.
And Lamar's gonna raise a trophy. God damn it! At our expense, I've been dying for Lamar to win a championship just so everybody will shut the hell up. And it has to come at our expense. This is ridiculous, man. What did I do to you, Lamar?
Making us miserable about the Super Bowl on August 8th, Jason Aponte. We love to hear it. Let's talk a little bit of what happened yesterday at camp. Kind of the big headlines of the day. Michael Williams, he went down with a knee injury. Best case scenario, it sounds like it's a hyperextended knee, which
means it's going to be amputated.
At this point with the Niners injuries. But no, he should be good. I'm guessing by week 1. Jordan James, he broke his finger. He needs surgery. He's going to be out a couple of weeks. Nick Bosa, he was back. You mentioned him. He missed 3 practices. Joseph Ehrenberg, he's very angry about Brock Purdy. Needs to be booted to the curb. Mac Jones is the alternative. Just throwing that one out there.
Honestly, Carter Bradley at this point, if we're going to do that. How can you...
No, but Tanner Mordecai's back.
Yeah, but how can you put Mac Jones in over the assistant head coach's son? Like, if we're doing the Nepo baby thing, if Tariq Owens is here as a Nepo baby, if Kyle Shanahan's the head coach as a Nepo baby, why wouldn't Carter Bradley be the next up? Like, forget out of here, Mac Jones. Whose son are you?
That's true. That's very true, Jason. I like that. That's a very good thought. I was wrong. Carter Bradley, QB2, QB1 of the future. He's
QB1 in my heart.
Some are saying he's very comparable to Tanner McKee, which I saw yesterday. He apparently you could get him for like a first round pick or something like that. I don't know. Apparently Tanner McKee's like the greatest quarterback of all time. But the Niners also released Eli Apple to make room. I believe they signed a defensive lineman whose name I probably should have wrote down, but I did not.
Doesn't matter.
So I apologize. It's just another camp body. Let's see if I can find that name just so we can say another name here on the Sprint Right Option podcast. I can't find it. They signed Michael Dwumfor to a 1-year deal to make room for the roster. The team released quarterback
Eli Apple. Legend. Jersey in the cart.
But yeah, so Jason, again, the biggest news yesterday, Michael Williams going down. And I think that's a bummer because outside of Jordan James, I know I kind of started on a tangent. I was excited to see Michael Williams tomorrow. I think seeing him in a preseason game, I know it's a preseason game, but the early returns on him have been very impressive. And the idea of him, the idea of him where he can run stop on the edge and then pass rush on the interior, that solves 2 problems, 2 huge problems the Niners had last season and 2 huge problems they've really had the past couple of years. So if they can get a guy like Michael Williams to do both of those things, I was excited to see it on the field for the first time. We're probably going to have to wait till week 1 to see it for the first time. But very, very bummed about the Michael Williams injury, despite it. It is better than what feared, because anytime you hear a player go down holding a knee, kind of go worst case scenario. So only in this hyperextended knee, that's okay. But in terms of the short term where he gets those preseason reps, kind of a bummer.
Mizell, Kal-El, shout out to you, Superman. I completely disagree. If we meet the Ravens in the Super Bowl, Lamar walk away with the trophy. That's literally what like literally what we said. Like I'm not sure where like I mean unless somebody said it in the chat. I'm not sure where the disagreement was. I literally said like I want Lamar to win a Super Bowl. I just don't want it to be at the expense of the
Yeah.
49ers. And if they
No.
met in the Super Bowl, it would be Lamar that walks away with the championship. Regardless, Michael Williams, yeah, Michael Williams is likely a starter, but he would have to play. CJ West is likely a starter, but he's going to play.
Mhm.
Alfred Collins had his best session by many eyes,
No.
and that's great because you need him to stack those days. So he's going to play. We don't know if they're going to be starters. We got to find out what's going on with Yetur Gross and what they decide to do. I still believe that YGM is going to be part of the NASCAR package. You're still no. If we meet Lamar, Lamar runs away with that Super Bowl, and yeah, like we Harbaugh kicks our ass again. I don't. Yeah, I'm not. That defense is so good, dude. Mike Green and Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton. It's just like, why are we allowing these good like Josh Simmons falls to the Chiefs and the Ravens end up with Malachi Starks and Mike Green and it's just
I
like,
was
come
big on
on, man.
Starks
Like
in the
what? Like come
process.
on, man. Come on, come on. They would kick our ass in the Super Bowl. But the problem is you know, you need those reps for Michael. You need those
Yep.
reps for Upton Stout. You need those reps for CJ West. You need those reps for D Winters. You need those reps for Alfred Collins. You need those reps for Jason Pinnock. Not all of these guys are rookies, but these are the
Mhm.
guys that you're looking at and I want to see play. Dallas Flowers has a chance right now to knock out this third string, cornerback position, and he has a chance to really show out in this game. Again, Denver is probably not going to play a lot of their guys. Many teams aren't. But there is so many players that aren't rookies that need reps. Like I said,
Mhm.
Winters and Pinnock. But yeah, you need to see West, Collins, Michael, Watkins, Stout, Siegel. Like these are the guys that need to play the most. They need to play the most. And I think that's the part that is ultra frustrating about Michael Williams. Look, Kyle Shanahan says it's hyperextended. He thinks it's just a week. Okay. Do I believe Kyle Shanahan and his hyperextension? I don't.
Yeah.
And don't blame me because it always is Brock's arm is a little sore. Brock's arm needs to be cut off in a week. Like once they're done with the actual or Talanoa Hufanga's ankle is a little messed up. Talanoa Hufanga needs his ankle to be cut all the way off. Like I
Christian
just
McCaffrey game time decision for week 1 of Monday
for
Night
week one
Football,
doesn't
and
play
he's
the whole
out.
season.
Yeah.
Doesn't play the whole season. So forgive me
Yeah.
for not taking Kyle Shanahan's word at face value. So I'm still holding my breath. He said, hopefully, that's best case scenario. Just ask yourself this as a 49er fan. When does best case scenario ever happen with injuries?
That's true. Damn. You just really bummed me out there. Thanks,
I'm
Jason.
sorry. Look, I'm bummed out. Like I
Don't
don't
shoot the messenger.
Like, yeah, don't kill me. Like, kill the message, not the messenger. Like, what do you want me to do? Kyle Shanahan, this guy's leg is fine. He just rolled it up. He'll be fine. Leg amputated. Like, that's literally what you're gonna find out the next week. Like, I don't know like what it is about this team, and they're like, for me, if I was him, it would probably keep a lot of people in more suspense and be upset. But I would say, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah.
And let's find out when we do more tests. Not it's hopefully hyperextended and then he'll just miss a week. Dude, stop saying stuff like that unless you're absolutely sure. And how many times are they absolutely sure? I'm sorry.
I think it's a little interesting too. We haven't had any really follow up today on it either.
Of course it hasn't.
Yesterday,
Well,
yesterday was hopefully hyperextended type thing, and you'd think an update would be today, but
today's walkthrough, so no media was there. You gotta like they'll ask him again when media is available, which is after Saturday's game, and then maybe we'll get some more clarity. But he knew exactly what he was doing. Possible hyperextension should just be a week. Good. Get everybody out of the room. You're not going to come back until after the game, so I don't have to answer any other questions and we don't have to give any more updates.
Jason Pinnock is another player we've kind of touched on here a little bit that I'm very intrigued to see how he does tomorrow. Because as far as I'm concerned, Jason Aponte, the 49ers currently have zero starting safeties. Malik Mustafa hurt. Maybe we'll see kind of where he is at in terms of the ACL recovery. Don't know when he's really going to come back. I know you have Jair Brown, but he had some issues. You probably pencil him as a starter. But you know he had his ups and downs last year. But Pinnock, he had a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Where this is America, we drink coffee, not tea. Uh, yeah, he had a cup of coffee with Robert Saleh back in 2021 with the Jets. Played 12 games. He goes to the Giants. He's played in what is that 46 games in 3 years. So he's been able to stay on the field. He had an 102-yard interception return for a touchdown with the Giants in 2023. But it's definitely a position of need, and he is a name that kind of keeps coming back up every time there's practice that he's looking good. So maybe the Niners find something there, but I am excited to see what he has to offer against I almost said the New York Giants, but they don't play the Giants, but they play the Denver Broncos tomorrow, Jason. But then also another name too, and really with Pearsall potentially not playing, likely not playing, you have Demarcus Robinson. We'll kind of see what he does because you don't know what the suspension situation is. No Ayuk, no Jawan Jennings. Whether Jennings' calf injury is severe, we don't really know, or maybe he's just holding out. Well, we don't know what the situation is. Jordan Watkins has a hell of a chance tomorrow to really work his way into this depth chart, especially with Ayuk's kind of questionable injury when he's going to come back. I know Lynch mentioned maybe week one. That doesn't feel like it's within a realm of possibility at this moment.
Well, he did say on KMBR that he doesn't expect week one now.
Yeah, he doesn't expect it. But Jordan Watkins has impressed through camp. And so if he can continue this impression that he's had tomorrow, that can only help him because as far as I'm concerned, because I'm mainly focused on week one, and I know Demarcus Robinson, he's going to be thrown in there somewhere, and Ricky Pearsall is going to be there, and Jawan Jennings is going to be involved at some point. But right now, wide receiver one is kind of open, right? For week one, at least specifically. And Jordan Watkins has kind of put himself in a spot where he might only have to outperform Ricky Pearsall because Robinson might be suspended and Jennings might maybe be hurt. I don't know.
Russell Gage is on his ass.
Russell Gage, which is another very interesting name, which I believe that, God, I know it's been so long, but was he with the Falcons? No, he was not. Yes. Well, he was with the Falcons, but when Shanahan was an OC, which he was not. 2018 was when he joined the NFL. So that's another interesting name. He hasn't been in the league for a couple years, but you can't kind of keep hearing his name as well. So I guess, Jason, you added this to this question. Are you more excited to see what Watkins has to have just because he is a rookie? Or are you excited to see what Russell Gage has because we have experience seeing him in the league and he's kind of kept popping up in camp?
I think Russell Gage and Watkins are going to make this roster. I think Russell Gage is going to be that type of veteran receiver that Shanahan loves to keep around, a la Chris Conley, like that type of guy that you're just like, why would you keep this person on the roster? But with Watkins, there's a real possibility, and I don't want to put too much bad energy in the world. Knock on wood. Jawan Jennings might not be ready for week one.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk's not going to be ready for week one. Ricky Pearsall's got to play. Now, who's your other receiver? Demarcus Robinson's going to be suspended. Jordan Watkins in week one may play substantial snaps and be counted on. So this is your time now to not only show that you belong, but that you can be counted on. Because I swear to God, nothing against Russell Gage because he's a great story because he's worked his way back from devastating knee injury after one after the other. But I swear to God, if Russell Gage is running out there over Jordan Watkins or let's even say Jacob Cowing, that I'm going to be very furious. The idea that a veteran who has played in this league for so long, and is working his way back from injury, is better suited to be on the field and gives you more upside on the field than Jordan Watkins or Jacob Cowing. Yeah. If Jawan Jennings is not there, if Brandon Ayuk's not there, which, who knows if one or the other is going to be there. That is going to be more of a Arthur fist shaking type of situation. So yeah, Jordan Watkins has an incredible opportunity in front of him, right? Mm-hmm. And he needs to seize this. And I think everything that he's been doing, if not if you're looking at the reports from joint practice, was probably the most consistent of
Yep.
all the wide receivers. Take that for what you will. So yeah, this is his time. This has to be his time. But again, like if you go out there in week 1 and those guys aren't available and Russell Gage is out there running routes, I'm not going to be happy because you've invested draft capital in Jordan Watkins, in Jacob Cowing. And it just will reaffirm the things that I keep saying about Kyle Shanahan that piss me off is don't tell me that rookies need to get reps and the bumps and bruises are going to make them better when you literally never let any rookies get reps and let the bumps and bruises get better. And like that and they offer you more upside. So that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, and what I liked about Watkins too, I know it wasn't against Pat Surtain, Jason Aponte, but the clip of him beating what was the number 37?
It was against Champ Bailey.
Yeah, Champ. Damn, that's real impressive.
Hey man, look, I've seen enough. Wide receiver 1, Jordan Watkins.
Wide receiver 1, but yeah,
send Brandon Ayuk to Pittsburgh.
I've been thinking, yes, Winston, I did order Madden 26 for the PS5. I absolutely have Madden 26. Saying about the Ayuk Terry McLaurin trade, that's something that I can't let go. I physically can't let go.
Look, I don't want to let go of the better receiver, but Washington, if you're watching Adam Pease, if you're watching Jordan Watkins for Terry McLaurin, straight up, you're welcome.
Throw Moody in.
Well, that'll sweeten it. Moody. I mean, how could you turn down a franchise kicker?
Top 100 pick too, Jason Aponte. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see Jordan Watkins tomorrow, and even Russell Gage, because Gage, like he had a couple of like solid, and I'm not going to sit here and say great NFL.
He was a solid NFL player for sure.
I mean, you look at 2020 and 2021, 72 receptions for 786 and 4 touchdowns. 21, 66 receptions, 770 yards, 4 touchdowns. So like, there's something there, and obviously, like. I trust Kyle Shanahan with receivers. I know he's a hard ass on them, but if there's a reason he's bringing Russell Gage in after 2 years off, like there's got to be something there that we don't know, and obviously Shanahan knows. So yeah, like it's so weird, Jason. This year is so strange because every year we've done this podcast, it's like, okay, Jason, like let's break down the positions, and we'd almost ignore defensive line and wide receiver because like what's there, you knew you were set. But this year it's just completely different. The defensive line, like what's the rotation? What's that going to look like? And then wide receiver, this is easily pre-Ayuk, pre-Debo, obviously, because those receiving cores weren't very good. But this might be the worst receiving core that Shanahan's had since pre. I mean, Torrey Smith.
No, Shanahan wasn't here for that.
Was he not? Okay, I'm gonna go back and look at the 2017 49ers. I'm curious to see how
Jeremy Curley
was there.
Marquise Goodwin.
Pierre
Garcon.
Oh, that's who I was thinking of. Pierre Garcon. No, Garcon was not on that team. 2017.
Well, remember he took over. Yeah, he was. He took over in 2017.
He was.
Yeah. He brought it.
Marquise Goodwin. God damn. Can you, Jason?
Yeah.
Do you know who
Leonard Hankerson?
Do you know who was second in targets in Kyle Shanahan's first season?
Garrett Selleck.
No, it's not a receiver. It's Carlos Hyde.
That's fucking disgusting.
Marquise Goodwin had 105 targets in 2017. Carlos Hyde had 88. Pierre Garcon had 67. Dog, oh my God. Carlos Hyde led the Niners in receptions in 2017.
Tweet that. I dare you.
What? I didn't expect to read that. He had 59 receptions for 350 yards.
And people still want to talk crazy about Shanahan and like what he's built. Like he didn't build this shit from the ground up, like ground zero, like rubble. Like, come on.
I'm sorry, I can't get my mind past that. Carlos Hyde led the 49ers in receptions in 2017. George, this scrub second year tight end, George Kittle. Oh no, first year tight end, George Kittle, 63 receptions for 63 targets for 43 receptions, and he's probably not going to amount to anything. God, Carlos Hyde had 59 receptions, led the Niners in receptions, 0 touchdowns. 5.9 yards per reception.
You know what's funny?
I'm
The
stuck
game.
on this. Sorry, fuck the Broncos game, man. I just want
Yeah.
to talk
Well, hold on,
2017 Carlos
hold on. But
Hyde.
all right. So the 2017 season, the game that I remember the most is that Rams game on Thursday night,
Yep, I think
where
that's a good
and
game. Yeah,
where Brian Hoyer and they went back and forth, and
41 to 39.
Trent Taylor scored a touchdown in that game, and oh my god, man, that game was that was the first time in a long time that I had fun watching the 49ers play football. And I didn't know what was gonna happen, what was
Was
around the
that
corner or anything like that, but it was fun.
was that the all black uniforms versus the all
Yes.
yellow uniforms as well?
Yes.
That's when they were doing the color.
Yes.
That's when we would get the yearly
Yes.
Jaguars
Yes.
versus Titans and
Yes.
the Dijon mustard jerseys versus the blue jerseys.
Yes.
Um, sorry, I can't get over Carlos Hyde leading the team in receptions in 2017.
That's a trivia question
That's a
answered.
good. That's I just tweeted it, but that's a goddamn good trivia. Like, hey man, who led the 2017 Niners in receptions?
And I would have said, I would have jumped out of the window and said Pierre Garcon.
Yeah, like you would think it would make sense. I just 59 receptions for three. I know it's a running back, but 59 receptions for 350 yards is
That's disgusting.
fucking insane, dude.
That's disgusting. It's almost impossible to do that.
I mean, like Christian McCaffrey, how many receptions did he have in 23? And he probably cleared 350 yards, man. Like,
No, I did it.
let's see here. Christian McCaffrey in 23.
23 or 24. 23, he was incredible.
He had God. Okay, well, I guess the best way to put it is in 24 when he played 4 games, he had 15 receptions for 146 yards. So
That's a better average.
he had way less. He had 9 point. He almost doubled his yard per reception on 59 receptions for 350 yards is insane. Okay, enough Carlos Hyde talk, Jason Aponte. You want to talk like CJ West and Alfred Collins? I
Or
don't know,
Alfred
man.
Morris.
How do yeah, we can talk Alfred Morris? I have some stats right up here.
Yeah.
But Alfred Collins, CJ West, they got a bunch of reps yesterday. I believe it was Collins that people were mentioning.
Yeah.
He looked the best he's looked all camp, which is, I think that's a positive thing because it's. I know the preseason games obviously get a lot of attention, but these joint practices are really where it's at. And for him to have his best practice against a different team, that gets me excited because this is, again, I kind of just touched on it. The defensive line, this is a very wide open year for them where it really is a situation where, yeah, Givens is hurt for a little bit, but outside of Givens, like who's your starting two in base formation? You have West, you have Collins, you have Jordan Elliott, you have Evan Anderson, you have a lot of guys there. So that's really wide open. You know that the base is going to be on the outside, Michael Williams and Nick Bosa, but the interior is wide open. How the Niners want to use that, I could see it being very rotation heavy. But for Alfred Collins to have his best practice against the Denver Broncos, that's very encouraging. And I know he's a player that gets a lot of notice for his size. So does CJ West. And obviously they weren't the first pick. So Michael Williams is getting a lot of attention. But you got to remember the first 4 picks by the Niners were used on defense. And CJ West and Alfred Collins were part of that. Where do you see them tomorrow? And where do you see their kind of projection for their season?
Collins has to play. He was a higher draft pick than CJ West.
Mm-hmm.
When you invest that draft capital, that's not somebody that you're just like, oh, let's see what we got going on. He has to play. And it sounds like it's going up and it's stacking days. And I don't want to get overly carried away, but what if what Alfred Collins needed was some added competition, which was the Denver Broncos. And now the Denver Broncos he'll see on the other side. Look, in a perfect world, base downs, West, Collins, Bosa, Michael, right? That's in a perfect world. And what that means is you're not putting them out there just because you drafted all of them and you envision them as the future of this line, is that they're the better players. Is that they're the best players on the defensive line. That's the perfect world scenario. It's not that you drafted them and they just have to play. No. You're playing them because they are the best players. That's your perfect world scenario. Now, in a real world scenario, you're probably looking at in base Bosa, West, Evan Anderson, and Michael. And then when you get into those advantageous third down packages, you're looking at Bosa, probably West, Yetur Gross Matos, and Michael. And you you flip those guys inside and out. So, um, perfect world is that those guys are the best players, but they're not going to get there without the reps. And especially Collins, he's behind the eight ball. He hasn't been with the team based on the injury. The contract thing went on. He's starting to get there. Like, we need to practice a little bit of patience. And I know that I'm talking to, who I'm talking to and saying like, let's settle down. But yeah, like let's get into this like mode of like letting guys develop, and maybe
Mhm.
this is gonna take a little bit longer, and and he's behind the eight ball. So I'm with it. Like I'm fine with him and Collins playing, Weston Collins playing a ton in this game, and they deserve to.
Yeah, I'm excited, and also too Bryce Huff, another one who will be part of that
Oh yeah,
NASCAR
well yeah, he'll
package
be
as
the other
well.
outside guy. Yeah.
Which by the way, Jason, I don't know if you knew this, but did you know that he had the 10 sack season in 2023, which a lot of Niner fans kind of gravitated to. Outside of 2023, Bryce Huff's average season is 2.5 sacks. Uh,
But that wasn't with Robert Saleh though.
well, 3 of those years were 21, 22, 23. 21, he had 2 sacks in 9 games.
No. You're misunderstanding me. None of those years that
Yeah.
mattered or that were bad
Yes.
were, like the year that matters is the one with Robert Saleh. Like you have to
Yes.
cherry
Yes. Yes.
pick. You have to cherry pick.
Yeah,
That's how
cherry
we
pick.
do
But
it.
that
Yeah.
well, that I was writing a defensive line article, kind of what to expect from them this year, Jason, and I'm like, okay, like he probably put up really good numbers with the Jets and Sala, and yes, 23 was. I was shocked to see he had 10 sacks in 17 games in 23, but in the 40 games he played under Robert Sala in New York, he had 15 and a half sacks total. So obviously you want him to be a little closer to that 2023 output than anything else, especially since he's going to have probably his largest role since that 2023 season. But yeah, anything you can get out of Weston Collins and especially this interior, I'm at a point, Jason, where it has to be better than last year. Like it has to be better because it was so bad last year. And again, with D Winters behind with Fred Warner, I think the run game, I think that's the thing I'm most excited to see, Jason, is the Niners getting back to run stopping defense because that's what they missed. And that's what they missed last season. And I think that's what'll really fix this, especially when I mean, shit, even Upton Stout, man. I think that's the thing that excites me the most about him is yes, you talk
Ted
about
Quinn's T.
the video with the interception, like that's a sick interception. Some people said, "Oh, pass interference." No, you don't know the rules of football. That was a feet tangled up. But the thing that kept popping up yesterday was his run fit, and I think Ted Gwynn
Ted Quinn.
posted something about that as well about his run fit with the Niners.
Yep.
So I think that's what I'm most excited for the Niners this year is that run stopping ability. Hopefully, because I mean, you remember back with what's Vic Fangio and Jim Harbaugh, we would be talking about in December, not you and I, Jason, but collective Niner fans. They haven't allowed an 100-yard rusher. It's December 19th. They haven't allowed a
In like
100-yard
3
rusher.
years.
Yeah, and so like I want to get back because that to me, like I know the pass rush, Justin Smith, Alden Smith, Nick Bosa, a lot of good pass rushers have come through. But what Niners defense to me has always been that run stopping ability. And I think we got that back this year, especially with the moves. I'm very excited. I don't know if you can tell, Jason. I'm very excited for the 49ers this year.
Well, it can't be worse. And I don't know if that gives you comfort or if I'm coming off as a dickhead. Like, I'm not. It just can't be worse. It just can't. It's almost statistically impossible to be that bad again against the run. And the only way that you get into those situations to rush the passer is by stopping the run. So, yeah,
Mhm.
and I mean, it's evident by the way that they've built this roster out with the draft. Is guys who can set the edge and guys who are run stuffers. So, yeah, absolutely, it's going to be better. But that's only going to lead to other things. And then even the way the wide nine is played, in which eat up blocks and let those smaller linebackers, Warner, Winters, even Nick Martin, fly through those gaps and stop the run. That's exactly what they're trying to draw up. And, this is what you have to think like with Robert Sala that, is going to be fixed. So, yeah, absolutely. It's got to be better because it can't be worse. And that's not me being a jerk.
No,
It's
yeah,
just,
it can't.
it just can't be worse. Like, it
If
just
it
can't.
if the defense is worse than it was last year, and even specifically the run defense, we're going to be talking about a top 5 pick team. Like just plain and simple. Like if this defense is work, because I just again, I know I mentioned it last episode, but the ESPN projections, which I liked. I liked going through that, but he had them ranked as the last defense in the NFL. And if that actually does happen, this is probably a bottom 5 team in the NFL. Just plain and simple.
Yeah. And we're talking about trying to move up for Arch Manning. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud.
Oh, dude, I'm a big Lenore Sellers guy. Arch Manning's not even going to be in this draft this year.
No, he's not.
Jason, we're about 45 minutes. These preseason previews kind of go a little sideways because we don't really know who's going to talk. But Jason, it is the preseason. We like doing predictions. Let's throw out some predictions for tomorrow and see how we feel. This is the preseason. We got to get through the motions, Jason. We got to run this show like the Niners are going to be running tomorrow, like a regular season game. We got to run this show like a regular season show. So Jason, score predictions, and then give me just something you're looking forward to that we haven't really touched on yet.
Oh my God, man! Score prediction in a preseason game is insane. Like if you're out there betting on preseason games, God help you, man.
Jared Bailey.
I mean, yesterday the Indianapolis Colts were large favorites against the Baltimore Ravens and got their doors blown off. They won by like 7. But God, my prediction
Denver minus 5.5. By the way, just throwing it out there.
My prediction is everybody has fun and nobody gets hurt. I say, everybody has a good time, nobody gets hurt. But the guy that I am going to predict pops in this game is going to be Russell Gage.
Okay.
And I think he's a guy who is going to solidify what I think he already has laid down, which is a top 53 man roster pick. Like he's going to be on this roster.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Russell Gage is going to have a very good game. They're going to rely on him a lot because they're just trying to get through this game without hurting guys that they really need to see something from, whether it's in the future or in week 1. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go with Russell Gage as the guy who ends up catching a lot of passes in this game and looking very good.
My player that I'm looking forward to watch, and it makes sense in my brain. I love multiverse movies. I love multiverse TV shows. Like Family Guy has a few banger multiverse episodes.
Road to the Multiverse.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It's a good multiverse movie.
You like that movie?
I fucking love. Did you not like that movie? I thought that was a great. I thought it was a great movie. I love that movie. But we get to step into the multiverse tomorrow. Mac Jones, McCorkle.
What could have been at pick 3?
What could have been at pick 3? Obviously, we don't want to find out what that looks like in the regular season, but it is a very, very fun, like little side quest story of what could have been if Kyle Shanahan got to drive the car that day, and Mac Jones was a Niner right away. Or good returns in camp, like that's cool and all. You don't want to talk about having the best backup quarterback in the league because, I mean, look how crazy Rams fans sound right now.
I was about to say, do we?
Because Jimmy Garoppolo is a starter right now. So
Tanner McKee could start for 5 or 10 different franchises. Jesus Christ.
Hey, man, I saw a chart that the Niners were on the maybe, but it would be fun. Is Jameis Winston a backup or is Jameis just like the 3rd string quarterback now?
He's a backup.
Is he the backup? Is Jackson Dart over him?
Nah.
Did you see the video of Jameis Winston hitting the crossbar? Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yes.
Shout out. Jameis looks so bad in number 19, by the way. I just want to throw that one out.
It's so terrible.
It's not a good looking number on a quarterback anymore. Yeah, two's perfect. Or I love Jameis. We don't need to talk about Jameis right now, Jason. But yeah, I'm excited to see what McCorkle offers, just because of kind of that history. But also too, it's a good little story. He had his struggles in New England. Jacksonville, he was a backup, and for him to come to San Francisco, where there is a history there of players, backup quarterbacks developing. I mean, we talked about Nick Mullins, we talked about CJ Beathard, Sam Darnold. He's still very relevant. Really, the only backup that hasn't felt like they got a boost off of him was Josh Dobbs, right? And where's he at? I don't even know where Dobbs is at.
New England. He's just playing. He's playing football.
He's playing right now, so he's back. He's back in New England. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what McCorkle Jones can do, because this is, as weird as it sounds, because even if he doesn't play a game for the 49ers, this can be a career revitalization for him, especially with an impressive preseason because of the fact that he is in a Kyle Shanahan offense. There will be a team next season that needs a quarterback, and they say, hey, like Mac Jones had a good preseason last year under Shanahan. Look what he untapped. Yeah, he didn't play in the regular season because Brock Purdy was just that good and didn't get hurt. But I'm excited to see what Jones has because of I think we're far enough removed from the Trey Lance situation to kind of sit here and say, like, hey, it is cool that Mac Jones has found his way to the 49ers. And it's a spot where he can really kind of change narratives for his career with a good preseason. So, like, again, I know it's preseason football, and a lot of people, we talk about, like, I was watching the end of the Raiders Seahawks game with my girlfriend last night and explaining, like, this is kind of funny because, like, half of these guys aren't going to make the roster, but they're playing for their life out there. This is a big drive.
Yeah.
And that's what Mac Jones is doing right now. A player who was a high draft pick, didn't work out in New England. He was, and let's be honest, he was thrown into an impossible spot in New England because you are coming off the heels of Tom Brady. And I don't think it's a surprise that they're on their, fourth quarterback since Brady. And now all of a sudden, like, things are starting to click in New England. I'm excited to see what Mac, like, genuinely, I know we love to meme Mac Jones on 49ers Twitter, but I'm genuinely excited to see Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones is going to be the next recipient of the Kyle Shanahan stimulus package, in which quarterbacks get lifted above what they are. Let's start from the bottom. Nick Mullins should have been a starter. Jimmy Garoppolo, everybody wants him. Sam Darnold, he gets here for a little bit and he learns a little bit. And I don't know if anybody watched last night's game, but he doubled down and tripled down about how much being in San Francisco helped him before he went to Minnesota and how much he learned from Brock. Literally, those were the words out of his mouth. He's next. Mac Jones is next. And yes, Nick Mullins, Stovey, like, what? Listen to me. Everyone was screaming. Nick Mullins, pull the stat up. Put it up on the screen. Put it up on the screen.
I just tweeted it the other day. Actually.
Put it up on the screen. Put it up on the screen. Put it up on the screen. Yes, Nick Mullins. Yes, Nick Mullins. Everyone was saying, "Oh, I don't care when Jimmy comes back. Nick's got to start." Nick Mullins stinks.
I was gonna. That's what I was gonna say. Jason is like, this podcast was built. This podcast
on this.
Built
Look at this.
Look at this. Hey, if Jimmy Garoppolo comes back, like, do you start Nick Mullins over him? And we had to be like, no, you start Jimmy Garoppolo. But like, yeah, like listen, I know Mullins hasn't gone on to do anything in his career, but Nick Mullins is on a roster in the Big 2025 right now. Nick Mullins isn't on a roster if he doesn't have Kyle Shanahan. Like, Shanahan extends these guys' careers because career backups exist. I mean, shit. Who was it? Chase Daniels, right? Chase Daniels wasn't a good quarterback in the NFL, but he got paid to be a backup, and that's what Shanahan's doing at this point. Like, Sam Darnold got a chance. Is CJ Beathard still on a roster?
Yes.
Where's he at?
No, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about
this? The same team.
You know what's funny about this is this graphic where you see the most passing yards through 13 starts. Nick Mullins is number 3 behind the great Andrew Luck and the great Patrick Mahomes. This is literally the clown in the army, like the one guy in the army, like behind all those guys that are standing in line, the one clown who's holding, like one doesn't belong here. And how did that happen? You think that happened because Nick Mullins knows how to play football at a high level? No, Kyle Shanahan's stimulus package. Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs, Sam Darnold, like every single one of these guys literally gets a chance because of Kyle Shanahan. The whole league was done with Sam Darnold. They chewed him up and spit him out. And now everybody is like, man, by the way, I want to have a talk about Kevin O'Connell, but that's for another day. I couldn't imagine yelling that Kevin O'Connell's a better coach than Kyle Shanahan after losing to Daniel Jones in the playoffs. But, hey, that's just me. I wouldn't put up with that shit if I was a Vikings fan, but that's just me. But, like, all of these quarterbacks we named, all of them continue to get, no, it doesn't mean that. So, in this case, and I'm glad, put it back up. I'm glad he brought this up. I'm very glad he brought this up. Two things can be true. Quarterbacks can be lifted by Kyle Shanahan, but Brock Purdy's the first quarterback since Matt Ryan to lift his system.
Yeah.
That is completely different.
Mhm.
And that I don't want to make sure
Yeah.
slides through the cracks, anything like that. Right now, Brock Purdy is the first quarterback as a San Francisco 49er to lift the
For,
system. Matt Ryan was the last quarterback to lift the system. Other than that, Matt Schaub, you're welcome. Brian Hoyer, you're welcome. All of these guys that like continue to like piddle around the league, that's the Shanahan product. Do not conflate the two. Matt Ryan and Brock Purdy are the
and
ones who lift the system. They
and I
lift the
say
system.
Charlene makes a good point on top of Filthy Casual's point. Nick Mullins is why Purdy doesn't get any credit. Yeah, because people see it. But like again, I don't expect the NFL world to know Niners football, but if you watch the Niners offense and how it worked with Jimmy Garoppolo compared to how it works now, the Niners can throw the ball 20 yards down the field now. And that's strictly because Brock Purdy is the quarterback. So yes, absolutely, Jay. You're absolutely correct. Like, no, like Brock is not only good because of Kyle, the Niners offense has changed because of Brock. And that's where he gets credit. But as Charlene says, like because of the success of CJ Beathard's and the Nick Mullins and all that stuff is why people try to discredit Brock Purdy. But that's simply not the case, right? Brock Purdy has improved this offense, and Kyle Shanahan can kind of use that offense better now because he has a quarterback who can run it the way he wants to. Hopefully, I said that correctly, Jason. But yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. Filthy Casual was great. It was crazy that Kyle was 0 for 30 when trailing in the fourth until Brock brought him back. Yeah, like stuff like that. Like Brock has done things for this team that no other quarterback has done so far, and
Yeah.
that's why Brock Purdy got the contract. And it's I know you could say Jimmy Garoppolo got the contract, but that was a totally different situation because Jimmy Garoppolo got the contract because it's a time where you think you have a guy, you have to extend him. And the Niners are kind of backs against the wall in that situation. Brock Purdy earned the contract he received.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo, you could argue he earned it because of the last 5 games of that season, but the Niners thought they had a guy and they had to extend him, where Brock Purdy earned his contract.
Andrew, I just text you a film clip that I posted on Twitter, and this is gonna exactly highlight what I'm talking about with the difference between what offenses expect and how. And this is from last year, by the way. I didn't cherry pick this from 2023 when it was a magic carpet ride. Like this
It's
is
a good
something
song.
that no, it's an alright song. Aladdin's alright. All right, so look, okay, guys, look. Cover four, okay, scissors concept, meaning deep deep crossers between the two outside receivers on the screen, which is going to be Jawan Jennings and I'm not sure who's on the top here. It's probably Brandon Ayuk because it's the
It's like
Patriots.
Ayuk.
Okay, okay. Now George Kittle's going to run a return route, right? Which is in out, but the cover four guy goes with Kittle. Now look, go back. I just want to reiterate this before you start it back up. The reason that I'm highlighting this is because cover four quarters is what teams would sit in because they were expecting quick game, middle of the field throws from this offense. A la Jimmy Garoppolo, a la Nick Mullins, anybody who has been here. Now, this is when you're asking, how are you going to accentuate and lift this offense? This concept and this throw shows you exactly what that means. They are jumping George Kittle because they expect it because of all the other quarterbacks. And once that leverage is gone from the safety, a absolute nuke to Jawan Jennings. No other quarterback under Kyle Shanahan as a San Francisco 49er could have run that. And what's funny is everyone wants the extension of this offense and let's get better. This is literally Brock Purdy and the Kyle Shanahan offense playing off of what they know you think they're going to do, but they have a quarterback who can hit you over the top.
And
That's an amazing throw, catch, and also a adjustment to what teams do when they sit in quarters and they sit in cover four. Once that cover four safety falls, he knows he has the leverage, he has the arm to throw it. That's where the evolution of the offense is. I don't want to hear any more crying about the drop back passing game not being evolved. If you don't understand, please just say that. Here is a prime example of how they preyed on what you thought was going to happen and what really happened when Brock really lets this thing go. I don't care what the
and
defense is, they still tried to jump it and think they were smart.
And then this is another, like, in the spirit of this conversation, because we are talking about in comparison to previous quarterbacks. If this is 10 right here, right? If this is not Brock Purdy, this is Jimmy Garoppolo.
He
Juwan
tries to force it to Kittle.
Jennings isn't an option here. He probably sees this and either A, forces it to Kittle, or B, he sits down and takes whoever this is. I think this is Jordan Mason. He probably sits and takes the check down, right? So that's the difference we're talking about, is the fact that this route right here, the Juwan Jennings on number 25, is even a thought in the quarterback's mind. That is the difference between Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo, because Garoppolo, I don't think he even attempts this throw. And if he does, it's probably, if Jennings is catching it at the 35, it's probably landing at the 30. So like that's what we're talking about, the difference between Purdy and Garoppolo. Purdy, yes, is made better than Shanahan, but Brock Purdy is not known because of Kyle Shanahan. Brock Purdy has also made the Niners offense better. They work together. Where I mean, I guess the best way to put it, Jason, is with Purdy and Shanahan, it is 50-50. It's 50% Shanahan, 50% Purdy. Where with Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard, it was probably 75% Shanahan, 25% quarterback.
My king Travis Etienne just caught a pass in this game. But yes, this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, this is the difference, right? Yeah. Cover 4. Everyone drops to the middle of the field. They're sitting there. They're waiting. Look, you fall in on Kittle. That's a throw that's not going to be thrown with any other quarterback. There's the difference between Brock and everyone else. While they're waiting for all these things and they're playing the middle of the field and everybody says, oh, just crowd the middle of the field, Brock is the guy that can actually do things like this. Look at that throw. Look at that catch. I mean, what other quarterback is doing that? So again, do not conflate what I said about Kyle Shanahan's system making quarterbacks better with this system and making Brock Purdy better, but Brock Purdy making the system better. Everybody needs help with their system. Everybody needs to lift the system. In this case, that's Brock. That's my prime example right there. I love that concept. I love that call. I love that throw. I love that catch. That's a thing of beauty. That was when things were nice last year. So again, I could go back to 2023 and just, oh, look at this and look at this, because everything was rolling. That last year was really what showed me the evolution of the drop back passing game. And it really showed me what this will look like under Brock and why things are so different. So please do not confuse Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard, any of those guys, Jimmy Garoppolo, with Brock Purdy. They're not, and Brock Purdy is far better. He does lift this offense, and Kyle Shanahan should be very grateful that they stumbled on Brock Purdy.
Jay said, preseason football is about to start for the San Francisco 49ers. They play in less than 24 hours. We will be back Monday to break down everything 49ers football. I don't think either of us are watching the game live, but I'm sure we're going to watch it Sunday.
Well, I am going to watch it Sunday. I want to do this. I am going to watch it Sunday, and I'm going to watch the broadcast angle. I don't care if there's all 22. The reason that I'm going to watch the broadcast angle, shout out to my good friend, Guy Haberman. There is nobody more deserving to get this job than Guy Haberman. Guy, I love you, man. You have been nothing but a good friend, have given me nothing but good advice, have been nothing but supportive. No better person to get this job than Guy Haberman, man. I am so happy. I can't be happier for anybody than him.
2-time Sprint Red Option podcast guest as well. So big things for him. Listen, I obviously don't know Guy as well as you, but kind of behind the scenes and just kind of the Guy Haberman is. The second time we had him on, I had something come up to where I had to miss the podcast for which reason. I think I had whatever it was. I don't remember.
This is a great story.
And I was like, Jason, like, you got Guy Haberman. You take him, right? Like, we can't. Guy delayed the podcast to ensure that I would be there as well. He doesn't know much about me. He's more Jason's friend than my friend, obviously. But for him to do that was maybe one of the coolest things for the podcast. Somebody that I know through Twitter, podcasting, Pac-12 football, commentating, to sit there and be like, hey, Jason, go do this podcast with Guy, and have him be like, no, like, I want to do it with both of you. That told me who the type of person Guy Haberman is. and I will forever be a fan of Guy Haberman because of it. And because of that, I got a second podcast with him. So this is a and unfortunate circumstances, right? Shout out Greg Papa.
Yeah, shout out Greg Papa,
going
man.
through cancer.
Yeah.
Greg Papa, all-time Bay Area voice, not just the Niners, but Giants as well. So we obviously Sprint Right Option Podcast wants to send our thoughts out to him as well. But a huge chance for Guy Haberman, who's been around the block. He has done so much with play-by-play, especially I believe he does basketball as well, college basketball. And this is his chance right here with the San Francisco 49ers. So he will be doing the play-by-play. So definitely thank you, Jason, for mentioning, because I did want to talk about that. Guy Haberman, shout out. Huge chance for him.
Yeah, I'll never forget. The text was, "Hey, it'll be me and you, buddy." And he said, "What happened to Andrew?" And I said, "Well, he can't make it." And he goes, "Well, let's just make it for when he can make it." Like, that's just the type of person, because I don't want to say that's the type of guy is. That's the type
I
of
was trying to
person he
avoid
is.
that myself.
That's the type of person he is. And he is just as genuine as you believe he is. You know how they say, like, don't, meet your heroes. Like, there's nothing fake about him in any way, man. I'm so stoked for my buddy. For my, again, anytime that I reach out and I have a question, anything like that, he's always been there for me and always giving me good advice, man. I'm so happy. So yes, I am going on Sunday to watch the replay just so I can hear Guy Haberman call the game, man. I'm so happy for him. Shout out to you, Guy. Nobody deserves this more than you, buddy.
Two-time Sprint Right Option Podcast guest. We love it.
The second time, what did he pull out? He pulled out those rare sneakers the last time.
Yeah. There's some people we got to get back on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
Guy.
He's busy, but yeah,
he's a little busy.
I don't
Drea
like bothering
Blackwell's
him too much.
Another one.
Drea Blackwell, absolutely, yeah. You know who I want to get now? Because I saw him on with Rob. I want to get Dieter, on here as well too to talk.
One.
I want to get Kyle Madsen, Rob Lauder. Like we're gonna try to expand this thing and everything. Jordan Elliott, yeah, Brad Graham, that would be cool, man. And if you ever make some time.
If we want to get a little grumpy, Rich Madrid,
that's
for a bad loss.
Drake Greenlaw's overrated, man. Who cares? Sorry, God.
But yes, definitely shout out Guy Haberman. We love to see it. We love to hear it. Jason Aponte, 49ers play a football game in 24 hours. I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to get year 6 kicked off of the Sprint Right Option Podcast. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners. Jake Moody, you better make every single kick, or I'm going to call Greg Joseph myself.
Let's go Niners, and yellow diamonds look like PP.
PPE.